problem, Louisiana. One that's been hiding right under our noses in the foods we know and love. It's a shrimp problem. One resulting from decades of traditions, both good and bad, that's making your favorite seafood an industry that's dying at home and thriving overseas. Seafood consumption in the US is no joke. Whether it's crabs, shrimp, oysters, or crawfish, we just can't seem to get enough of it. There's a problem though. Most of the shrimp being consumed in the US right now aren't even from here. They're from overseas. Between 80 to 90% of the shrimp we eat here are imported. Shrimping has been a staple of the Gulf before Louisiana or the United States ever existed. When people came and colonized, they weren't really interested in shrimp at all, or any shellfish for that matter. Shellfish was considered a poor people's food, but if you know anything about Louisianians, that hasn't stopped us before. People used any means at their disposal to shrimp, cast nets mostly, and once the rest of the country got a taste of what was being cooked up, it was over. Even from the beginning, states along the Gulf Coast were unable to meet national demand. Fast forward to 2023, where 82,000 metric tons of shrimp were caught in the Gulf. That's 243 million pounds. Now that sounds like a lot, but it doesn't even come close to what the nation actually consumes, which is around 6 pounds of shrimp per person per year. In most states, especially those not along the Gulf Coast, you've got restaurants and stores straight up lying about where their shrimp comes from. Even here in Louisiana, which is the second most state for seafood production in the United States, second to Alaska. It's pretty common to find packages that have really southern sounding names on them, like Boudreaux's or Thibodeau's, to make them sound like they come from somewhere along the Gulf. In reality, those shrimp could be coming from anywhere. There are shrimp farms in places like Ecuador and plenty more in Indonesia. The US imported $759,000 worth of shrimp from Indonesia in 2023, 1.4 million from Ecuador, and 2 million from India. So what's being done about this? What are we doing to make sure that the people of America aren't being lied to? We set out to find just that. And if you made it this far, make sure you subscribe to Ad Lucem for more adventures just like the one you're about to see. You've probably seen enough on TV to know that fishing in mass quantities is one of the hardest jobs out there. Half the time, it takes 4 men just to pull 1 fish out of the water. Even though shrimping is one of those hard industries, oftentimes you'll find people trying to do it by themselves. My videographer Matthew Eddards and I frankly had no idea what we were getting into when we signed up for our little shrimping venture. We thought we'd spend 4, maybe 5 hours shrimping max. We couldn't have been more wrong. Here we are, driving through Lafayette, getting every red light. And I'm just glad we got off the interstate when we did, because we were just about to hit standstill traffic. So right now, we are on our way to meet a guy named Nate. I don't know his last name, but he is a shrimp boat captain that my dad connected me with. And we're gonna go see him, we're gonna meet him, pick him up, and from there, who knows where he'll take us.
It's anyone's guess.
It's anyone's guess. Who knows where he'll tell us to take us? We don't know how long we're gonna be on this boat. Could be all night into the morning. Could be just all night and then we get back at night. I don't know. I always end up dragging Matt out to these shoots last minute. Sorry, buddy.
The reason why I'm tired is because Oscar here called me literally the night before. Like, I didn't know I was gonna be here. Ring ring, hello. Hey, you want to get on a or no, like, what's your availability? It's this, and we're like, oh, we can go on a shrimp boat. I'm like, cool. And I asked him, well, what time are we leaving tomorrow? Because I got work tomorrow. I don't know. So, you know, it's up in the air if I even show up to work tomorrow or not, so. What's the purpose of this trip?
Purpose of our trip is to find out where Gulf shrimp comes from. Obviously it comes from the Gulf, but we want to see it from the source. We want to get the story of a guy whose everyday life is getting Gulf shrimp, and we want to follow it from farm to table. Today is Farm the Gulf. After an hour and a half of driving, we finally picked up Captain Nate Felix. Nate is 33 years old. He's half Native American on his dad's side and French on his mom's. His dad passed when he was young. Looking for a father figure at around 12 years old, he found a pastor who taught him how to fish. Years later, he got into commercial shrimping as a crewman. Now, he owns his own boat. After a while of driving, we were finally able to squeeze a plan out of him. Tell us the plan, Nate.
Alright, the plan is go to the boat, get the ice off the trailer, put the ice on the boat into ice holes for our shrimp box, and get on down into the fuel dock, get our fuel, and we're going to head to the Gulf of America. And we're going to go shrimping, and hopefully making some money to provide for our family and our kids. Yeah, there for a night or two, day and a half, night and a half.
Yeah?
Not long. My boat only carries 100 gallons, but I got a 370 horsepower Cummins in it. So I'm really capable only about 24 hours-ish. And it takes 2 hours to get to where we're going, and it's a 2-hour ride back.
So, he said this in the car, 20 to 24 hours, but I was driving, so I definitely didn't hear him, and Matt was focused on filming while we were driving, so he definitely didn't hear him. It's kind of like when you hear someone try to tell you something for the 5th or 6th time, but you really still didn't understand what they said, so you just kind of smile and nod. That's kind of where we were. Meanwhile, the time was adding up before we even got on the boat. It took an hour or so to get from where we picked up Captain Nate to get to what I'm calling the marina with no name. Autofocus. About to get the drone in the air. Might have overpacked, but I don't think so. I think we need everything in this bag.
Yeah.
This is the boat of Nate Felix. He's been trawling shrimp for years, and he bought this boat off of somebody, and now he sleeps here. He works, breathes, and eats shrimp all the time.
Alright, fellas, this is where I can do something else.
What was that point you were making earlier about the ice?
They don't have any ice factories here. And in order for us to go shrimping, we have to go buy ice in town, haul it by trailer, transfer it to our boat, and then go shrimping. And then ice it back up when we get back in, sell it to customers. Because the factory in here in Delcom, they all shut down. That's where there's only a few boats. If you look around, all the boats are tied up.
Yeah.
There's one boat missing from the slip.
Get it, man, get that ice!
Feels like I peed myself.
Yeah.
This is cold. Feels kind of nice, actually. Oh yeah!
We're pushing the boat away.
Bring it back,
Pull it back!
Okay.
After a while of dumping ice and fixing the boat some more on that later, we started to make our way to get some gas. That's when it really set in for me and Matt what we had signed up for. I mentioned earlier that the captain had bought the boat off of someone. I didn't say any more at the time because I had no clue. It turns out that he got it only 2 months before meeting us off someone who didn't take care of the boat very well. The boat spent one of those months dry docked so it could become operational, and another one of those months in the water still being worked on and tested out. So how'd that affect us? Well, for starters, the boat only moved 9 miles an hour, and that was really pushing it. It was kind of like watching my mama trying to find the password for something she uses every day. You're gonna get there eventually, but it's gonna take a little bit. On top of that, listen to this. Yeah, that's the sound the boat made the entire time we were on it. And we were listening to that at a crawl, so not even the wind was really blocking it out.
The boat's brand new to me, and I'm still working a lot of the bugs out. I'm using some old raggedy freaking nets. The boat's not set up to where the way I'm used to. It's not commercialized enough, I guess I should say.
Look, you're gonna hear me say some negative things about this boat and the trip throughout the rest of this documentary. But what you need to know is that we wouldn't trade the experience that we got for the world. Another hour passes as we travel to get gas, then another while we wait our turn. It's at this point that Captain Felix really deep cleaned the boat with a broom to get deep into the scratches in the fiberglass to remove dirt. And we finally got to talk to him more. Right now, we're waiting to get gas. Should take about 10-15 minutes.
All the paperwork you gotta sign to hit fuel. And I got another copy coming.
Jesus.
This one. What's the checklist?
Bayou Grazer.
Bayou Gray.
Grazer.
Razors.
These are all the things that check out. And where'd you get Bayou Grazer from?
I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
We grease the bayou, bro.
Uh-huh.
As a cow greases the land, I grease the body.
Tell me you got him saying that. Thank God. Do you think you'll continue to do it by yourself?
No.
No?
I got kids.
Yeah. After I got some drone footage and we finally got some gas, we started making our way down the channel to the Coast Guard lock so we could get out into the Gulf. Let me hit you with a little math. We were going 9 miles an hour max. The distance from the gas station to the lock was about 20 miles. So mathematically that has us getting there 2 hours and 15 minutes after we left. Somehow, we managed to get there in 3 hours instead. As the sun started to set, Matt and I sat down and ate the food we packed. Me a muffalata and him a po' boy, courtesy of Anthony Stelly. Soon bugs started to swarm to the lights on the boat, so I went inside to the cabin and laid on one of the cots. 3 hours later, we made it to the lock. This is the entrance to the Gulf. That's when it was my turn to steer the boat, something I haven't done since I was a kid.
Alright, so look, you draw. See that green beacon?
Yeah.
See the red beacon?
Yeah.
Alright. See how I'm in the middle of the two beacons? Once you get past this, look at my finger. Once you get past this, it's all open water.
Okay.
So go past that red beacon and go to the left of that green beacon. And then once we get past that, it should be all right. If anything was to ever happen to me, and I had a deckhand, the first thing I always teach the deckhand is how to get home. How to get home if something happens to me. Because out here, you don't never know if you're ever coming home to your family again.
And of course, while I was steering, Matt had to have a job too. Matt's job?
Well, one of y'all gotta come with me up top so I can hurry up and for me that net. If you want to start to go through while I do that one, let's do it. God damn. I never even seen this one. You ain't gotta hold it tight. You ain't gonna fall neither. It's calm out here.
Something I've always told Matt on trips like these is one hand for you, one hand for the boat. A lesson that my dad passed on to me. He told me that he was thinking of that the entire time he was standing on top of the boat with nothing to hold on to except for the torn net. If it's any consolation, he got to bark orders at me while I drove.
Hey, turn left.
Turn what?
Turn left a little bit.
Hey, turn left a little bit.
You can walk over to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Oscar, turn left a little bit.
Time to go straight for that green one out there.
All right, now go straight for that green one. Once that was done and we got far enough into the Gulf, it was time to lower the nets. It wasn't long before we weren't alone anymore. A pod of dolphins was following us.
Look! If you missed it, goddammit!
They were no strangers to what we were doing and were ready to scoop up anything we stirred up. So while we trawled for the first time that night, I was looking for dolphins, not realizing that they'd cause us a lot of trouble down the line. After an hour of trawling, we decided to check our hull to see if we were in a good spot. While we did, the captain gave us some lessons.
That's what y'all ladies. This is what y'all perfume and makeups made out of.
Really?
They take them, they boil them down, they turn them into oil, fish oil, and they make beauty products with them and a bunch of other stuff with it. Fish. See that on the side of the shrimp? That's eggs. When shrimp lay eggs, they come out the side of the face. And when they first get pregnant, that's how they look. They go down the middle, down the vein, and they lay eggs like that.
We definitely saw some weird fish, including one that the captain had no clue what it was.
Some sort of eel.
Wow. Looking at the hull, he determined that the area we were trawling was good enough, and he put the nets back in again. He put the shrimp and fish into a big bin and a good bit of salt water. Then he mixed it all. What resulted was dead fish and shrimp at the top, and the living ones along the bottom.
The shrimp will sink, and the fish will float. And you scoop them out like the dead fish in the aquarium.
Then he'd take the dead ones out with a net and throw them overboard.
Almost. And soft shell, that's a delicacy. People don't know about that. Like a soft shell crab molts. It's a shellfish too, it molts. It sheds its skin.
After he took the live ones and put them in a sort of sorting tray that sat over the ice container. If you're feeling like you're watching an episode of How It's Made at this point, you're not alone. I felt the same way while I was filming. Eventually, we'd had bins of just shrimp, and it was almost time to pull up the next batch. We thought we'd be pulling up the same amount, if not more. Wrong again. The net on the right side of the boat came up with nothing. It looked like it had been completely untied.
Nothing. Nothing really.
The dolphins were the first thing that the captain blamed. This went on for a little while, and it felt like we were in the book Moby Dick, except the dolphins were our whale. Those slippery little monsters knew exactly what they were doing, and there was nothing we could do about it. After a while, we had had enough of this. We decided to go into the cabin and just trawl for the rest of the night. So I crawled into the cot that we had broken earlier because Matt and I both tried to get into it. And I put on my AirPods and tried to get some sleep, but just couldn't. Meanwhile, Matt was knocked out on the floor using his backpack as a pillow and regret as a blanket. As soon as I thought I might get some sleep, the captain started to talk to me. It was time for me to steer, and without any direction, I sat down at the GPS and took a look. We had to have been at least 25 to 30 miles from the lock. I had to do something. I couldn't keep steering us away. Captain, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I ended up making a big U-turn and putting us on a course home. Looking out into the pitch black Gulf, I got so seasick, a feeling that I've never gotten before. Meanwhile, I'm looking down at the GPS, trying to keep us in a straight line, all while not being able to see the coast at all.
You don't never know if you're ever coming home to your family. It's up in the air if I even show up to work tomorrow or not. Yeah, that's a night or two. Day and a half, night and a half.
I steered the boat for at least 4 hours before I saw the sunrise. That's when I decided I was going to steer outside, put on some music, and maybe dance a little. I can't play it here, but I was dancing to the hustle. We are on our way home. I never in a million years would have thought that we would have been out here this long. Kind of told Matt he'd be back before lunch, and that could still happen. Maybe. Probably not. I woke up Matt so he could steer while I flew the drone. So while the sun rose and the captain slept, I flew the drone and got these beautiful shots.
I guess I didn't sleep again last night, but I never felt so good. I never felt so good.
Looking at the sunrise, the dolphins, and the coastline, I realized how beautiful of a profession shrimping can be. The hard work feels worth it to those who get to experience this serene environment every day.
And baby, hear me, monster, 'cause I've never been here before.
After a while, the captain woke up, and I attempted to land the drone on the moving boat. Of course, it refused to land the normal way. It was like pushing two magnets together. So I ended up having to perform a crash landing. We pulled up the nets one last time and saw that even after trawling all night and all morning, we had next to nothing. The captain was mad, and we totally understood. He hadn't caught enough to justify the trip, let alone pay for gas. It was then that we stopped and talked to the captain more about why he shrimps in the first place.
For me, it's giving back. It's how to say this. When I was a teenager, I used to cause problems. I had to have a dad figure. So I acted out, did stupid shit. So this is my way of giving back to the community that I fucked up. The stores ain't gonna give you a break. Nobody you talk to is gonna give you a discount. They gonna charge you what they want, and if you don't give it, you don't eat. They ain't gonna give you a $2 discount on a steak. If you ask for it. Me, I give shrimp away. A lot of times when I sell shrimp and I go post it, I make a post just for the needy, the elderly, the handicapped, or people that want to take their kids fishing and can't afford bait. Commercial fishermen used to be able to make a living. That's why now you don't see no boats being made. You don't see brand new trawl boats. You don't see brand new skimmer boats. You see brand new outboards with skimmer frames and weekend warriors is what you see. You don't see people doing it commercially anymore. Like I said, it's a dying industry.
I asked if he ever got tired of it.
I say I'm tired. I can scream, holler, cry, complain, yell, throw stuff. I'll be back tomorrow, or I'll be back the same day later. I just gotta catch a breath at times because it's a very stressful job. You got a lot on the line, You got your family, you got your customers, you got your kids.
He talked a little bit about the isolation of it all. While shrimping can be really tasking physically, it's also tasking mentally. Because humans are social creatures. We need that human interaction. He told us about one day he got back from being on the water so long that he had social anxiety so bad around people, he couldn't even go pick up a pizza. That's when he told us the big problems with the shrimping industry. Before I tell you those problems, let's take a second to talk to our sponsor.
Hey, come on in. Celebrating 50 years, Dennis's Seafood.
For 50 years, Dennis's Seafood in Metairie has been serving the freshest, most authentic Louisiana seafood just minutes from downtown New Orleans. From hot boiled crabs and shrimp, seasoned to perfection, to fresh fish and classic New Orleans favorites like gumbo and stuffed artichokes. Dennis's has it all. Founded in 1975 by the Lacoste family, Dennis's Seafood is still family run today, dedicated to bringing you the best. And don't forget to say hi to a true local icon, Nudie the Nutra, only at Dennis's Seafood. When you're ready for real Louisiana flavor, come celebrate 50 years with Dennis's Seafood in Metairie. Call 504-885-2209. Talking to us about those problems more in depth is voice actor Andy Field, a Louisiana native who's rising in popularity due to his appearances in video games like Five Nights at Freddy's and shows like NCIS New Orleans. Andy, take it away.
Thanks, Oscar. Yeah, I grew up in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and I loved shrimp growing up. In fact, I still do. It was my family's traditional Christmas dinner instead of turkey. So anyway, one of the main problems that Captain Felix mentions is foreign imports flooding markets. Here in Louisiana, we charge more for the shrimp caught in the Gulf. Their overall quality is better than imported shrimp because they're fully natural in their growth cycle. So we talked to a fellow Andy, Professor Andy Nyman with Louisiana State University's Department of Renewable and Natural Resources, about a shrimp's life cycle.
The adults kind of go out in the deep water where y'all were trying to catch them, and they go out there to reproduce, lay eggs hatch, and even though the eggs are tiny, they really don't have any locomotion. Evidently, the animals can figure out that when the tide's moving in, they go up in the water column and get a little further in, and they go down.
The shrimp then ride the tide back to surrounding bays and bayous, which are usually just 3 to 4 feet deep. There, they eat plant matter, like algae.
They grow up there, and then they get ready to move on out, and they go out into the Gulf and complete their cycle. So even though most of our shrimp are caught in the deep waters of the Gulf, those animals need the shallow, lower salinity marshes to live.
That's the natural life cycle a shrimp would follow along the Gulf Coast. But imported shrimp aren't living that same life. Countries like Ecuador, India, and Indonesia are known for using shady practices that actively destroy not just the shrimp's habitat, but coastal wetlands themselves.
They go into a wetland area, but they just, they put up a levee, they put up a water control structure so they can let some water in and out when they let some water in when they need it. And they go out and they go trawling, and they catch the pregnant shrimp that are out there before they release their eggs. And they bring them back and put them in their ponds.
The shrimp in these ponds are fed a special shrimp chow that aims to make them grow as quickly as possible. The faster they grow and reproduce, the quicker they can be harvested and shipped off. These farms are not well maintained and are in effect stagnant water. After years of misuse and over-harvesting, foreign shrimpers drain the water and leave.
And then they dry it out. And there's some really cool chemistry I would love to talk about, but I won't, involving iron and sulfur. But it turns into what we call an acid sulfate soil. The pH is so low that nothing but bacteria can live there. No plants, no animal. It'll stay that way for years or decades. We don't even know. They don't care. They don't have regulation. They're not using their own private property. They just move down the coast another couple miles and do it again.
Use slave labor, child labor to raise these shrimp on farms, and they ship them here at little to no cost because they paying little to no cost for the work. And they're able to ship it by the billions of pounds.
That's when the shrimp make their way to restaurants and stores across the U.S. that market them as Gulf shrimp. In states around Louisiana, 78% of shrimp are deceptively mislabeled as domestic. That's compared to Louisiana's 32%. The truth is, states like Louisiana can't provide enough shrimp to feed the nation, but they could provide more than they are now. What's stopping them is the price of their competitors' product. Because of the shady practices, foreign shrimp cost significantly less per pound. We talked to a group called Seed that's looking to combat this. More on that later. Back to Captain Felix. He says another problem in the industry is that older generations aren't passing on their skills.
Personally, I live by the saying, you teach a man how to fish, he's going to eat the rest of his life. You give him a fish, he's going to eat for a day. I like teaching people how to fish. And I wish the older generation would have felt the same way, because they ain't got people that can make nets no more. The ones that you see doing it are 60, 70, 80 years old. You know, they can barely do it anymore. You know, they do it for their family only. And I know me personally, I got thrown to the wolves for everything that I know. It was a you figure it out type thing. And if you didn't figure it out, well, you just SOL.
Speaking of being thrown to the wolves, Oscar, tell us about the rest of your adventure.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, the rest of the trip really dragged on. I think we were all ready to go home, the captain included. And thank God I had turned us around earlier that morning, because it still took hours for us to get back to where we were, even after steering us back all morning. Of course, we had to have one more mishap before the adventure was over. When we went to go turn the engine back on after turning it off to get the nets out of the water, it wouldn't turn back on. We were dead in the water. It was after 20 or 30 minutes of this that I started bargaining with God to make the boat start. As soon as I did, the boat started. Only me, Matt, and God will know the deal I made that day. Anyway, slowly but steadily, we made our way back up the canal. I was actively looking at the map on my phone, watching our location while Matt slept some more. After watching the other boats speed past us for 3 hours, we made it back to the marina with no name. Once we made it back, we packed up all of our things, got in the car, and I drove us another 2 hours back home while Matt slept. Again. In total, we spent 20 hours on that boat, and because I worked half a day before we even left for the Gulf, I was at the 38-hour mark for no sleep.
So you were tired?
Yeah, Andy, I was exhausted.
Okay, note to self, always ask how long the boat trip is, not just if there's gonna be a boat trip.
Just a few days later, I gave the shrimp to my mom and got to eat the spoils of our journey.
With any luck, we might live
Beautiful. They are just gorgeous.
Thanks, Mom, for knowing what you're doing, because if I cooked the shrimp, this documentary would have ended with a food poisoning disclaimer.
All right, good.
You finally got it right.
I got it seasoned good. I'm always so shy with the season.
A few weeks went by after that, and I think I was just a little shrimped out at that point, but after talking with Professor Nyman, I knew I had to keep going. When I first started this documentary, I wanted to find a way for people to be able to tell if the shrimp they were eating was imported or not. I thought they would be able to tell just by looking at them. Well, shrimp around the world do have distinct physical characteristics. What I found out though is that once the shrimp's shell is removed, they pretty much all look the same. And once they're cooked, it's all over. There's no way to tell. At least, not with the naked eye. It turns out that there is an organization called Seed Consulting based in Texas that has been studying shrimp for years. They found a way to DNA test shrimp even after they are cooked to find out where they're from. During this, there was nothing that was going to stop me from talking to either the founder of the organization or the person who invented the test. This is the point in the documentary when I usually have to send a bunch of emails and make a bunch of calls. Professor Nyman gave me an email for someone with Sea Grant. They put me in touch with someone who manages communications for Seed. Then I got to talk to the founder, David Williams. They told me there was going to be a press conference in a week in New Orleans where they could do a live demonstration of the DNA test that they call the right test. Of course, I said I'd go, and after signing up for press access, I was on my way. So I got in the car and made my way to the Marriott in downtown New Orleans. Alone, this time. After an hour and a half of driving, I was there. I gave my car to the valet and then navigated the maze that was the New Orleans Marriott Hotel. I didn't know how to work the elevators. It was just too complicated. So I took a pair of stairs, then an escalator, then a pair of stairs, and finally I was there. Thank God, someone told me how to use the elevator later on.
To car A.
Around 1, it was time for the press conference. Not the shrimping one, but the crawfish one. It was the first meeting of the day that the people with seed were going to be at, and I didn't want to miss it. I'm so glad I didn't either, because that presentation had everything I needed. It was a great presentation, David. I'm so sorry that Congressman interrupted you for like 20 minutes.
So,
David, let me interrupt you real quick.
Yes, sir.
It turns out that there is new legislation around packing or selling foreign shrimp in Louisiana. Andy?
Acts 372 and 148 of the 2024 legislative session brought changes that took effect in January 2025. Restaurants have to have a sign at their front door if they're selling foreign shrimp. For companies packing and selling shrimp in stores, no more tiny labels on the back saying the country of origin. All foreign shrimp packages must say the country of origin on the front in bold Arial font. Companies violating these rules will face fines of $15,000 to $50,000, depending on the number of violations. But of course, restaurants are not going to be open about serving imported shrimp. That's why Seed has done over 250 DNA tests across the U.S.
We go into restaurants, we take shrimp off plates, and we test whether or not they're imported farm-raised shrimp. Louisiana is one of the outstanding good examples of authenticity. In fact, New Orleans, even though I don't pronounce it properly, is actually had an authenticity rate of 87%, which means only 13% of the restaurants were incorrectly selling product, which is amazing. There is a situation that you have to understand that we've been working on in the shrimp industry for a while, and that is, it's all very well putting words on packages, but when product gets to restaurants, it goes in one thing and quite often goes out on the menu a different way.
By normal means, a full DNA test of shrimp costs $3,000, but the right test takes that down to just $22 per sample.
Our main objective is not for us to keep on testing. Our main objective is to put the right test into the hands of government bodies that can do enforcement.
Then David passed the mic to the inventor of the right test, Rouge St with Seed in Florida State University. He explained to everyone how the right test differentiates shrimp from the Gulf from shrimp around the world.
People live all around planet Earth. But when you look at people living in the western part of the world, they have a completely different diet. When they eat different, the bacteria which grows inside it is completely different, right? Because the fibers are different, the proteins are different, all the greens are different. So that's what leads to a diversity, and that is unique for each and a specific reason.
So every shrimp has a different type of bacteria it eats, and that's how they know?
Yep.
Okay, but if they're taking the shrimp from restaurants, how are the breading and sauces not getting in the way?
That's a good question. Rouge showed me how they go about doing this in a private showing of the test. Although I just saw the test and the equipment. We didn't actually have any shrimp.
Hold up, Oscar. You mean to tell me there was no shrimp at the shrimp press conference?
Nope. And I showed up without having eaten anything all day.
Yeah, you should have just DoorDashed yourself a po' boy.
Hindsight's 20/20, Andy.
Well, yeah. Okay, back to the test.
These are the two pieces of equipment you need. This is a toothpick which you can use for sample collection. So what we do for right test is we receive shrimp sample in Ziploc bags. blinded shrimp sample. So when you have a sample, you don't have to take it out. You just break it from inside by just bending it, which opens up the shrimp, which is not contaminated with any sauce or salt or seasoning. So the inside remains clean and pristine.
Okay, I see. So he sticks a toothpick into the middle of the shrimp, then he puts that sample into a PCR or polymerase chain reaction machine.
So when you heat any tissue samples at such a high degree, what happens, the cells starts to explode, and that's how it releases the DNA. So that's how simple is the DNA isolation process using this. It takes 30 minutes. Once the heating period is done, the 30-minute cycle is there, we go, hit the stop button, and we open this one.
Then they let the sample cool for 5 minutes before placing it into a small portable centrifuge. Spinning the sample around separates the proteins from the DNA, something you wouldn't be able to see happening, of course. After diluting the DNA with water by 1/10, they stick it back in the PCR. From there, they can tell if the shrimp are from a farm or from the Gulf. So that's it, huh?
Yep. After that, I left New Orleans and stopped in Metairie to get some buttermilk drops from Tasty Donuts. I just can't leave New Orleans without getting some. Talking about shrimp so much and not being able to eat any made me want some then more than ever. And as luck would have it, I had a shoot coming up for work, all about po' boys. So a few days later, my boss at my regular job, Jeremiah, and actors Trinity and Durasic went downtown to Poor Boy Lloyd's. It's one of the oldest restaurants in Baton Rouge and serves any kind of southern food you can think of. We did a little shoot out in the heat of the actors eating sloppy po' boys.
How's the sandwich? It's good?
I'm sure it's great, dude. And then went inside so Jeremiah and I could eat our po' boys.
Shrimp.
As soon as you said that, it stopped focusing on the shrimp and it focused on you.
It's my reaction when I don't know what to say.
It's one of the best po' boys in town.
Let's go though.
You see I got you a Tony's?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do with that?
Right. Driving away, we were poor boys ourselves. That stuff's not cheap, man. But on my way home, I thought of everything that went into telling this story. Sometimes it all comes down to knowing someone who knows someone. And that's exactly what happened this time. My dad knew a friend who was a shrimper who knew another shrimper who could take us out. Professor Nyman knew someone with Sea Grant who knew the founder of Seed, who knew the inventor of the right test. And those are just the people we spoke to for information. Matt was there with me when we went on the crazy shrimping adventure, and I found Andy through making a TikTok of someone who sounded just like him at the shrimping press conference.
And that, kids, is how you end up voicing in a shrimp documentary. Behind the scenes, we've got Jacob Bush and Davis Thomas handling some of the graphics, and Time Crawler and Mid-City Prowlers making all of the music. All of us came together to tell you this story and give you a message.
Local shrimpers are some of the hardest working people. Their harvest feeds the people not just of Louisiana, but of the nation.
If we're buying international shrimp, first of all, we're not supporting our local shrimpers. Second of all, we're subsidized. We're paying for people to go destroy coastal wetlands.
Support your local shrimpers and commercial fisheries and don't buy imports. And if you go to that restaurant and he's selling import shrimp, give him my number. Tell him to buy local.
And while new legislation is still coming out, you can never be too sure where you're getting your shrimp from. So if you can't get it straight from the source, make sure you keep an eye out for that sign on the door and those words on the package. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to Ad Luchem. We fully intend on making more full-length documentaries just like this one. Thank you so much to everyone involved in the making of this film. From the music composers, to the animators, to the voice actors, and thanks most of all to our sponsor.